Hey there, Erica. This is Daoud Merkel from Doing Good Branding and Web Design Agency. And you spoke with Jasmine, our salesperson, a couple of days ago, and she said we would do a video for you. And just wanted to put that together. Now, the point of this video is to help you understand some areas where your website could use some improvement. And there's some very specific things I'm going to talk about. And then there's a kind of a couple of other issues I wanted to show you as well. So we'll go through those. Um, Before I get started, I know that Erica mentioned to us that you sort of enjoy doing your own website. Um, that's great. I think it's lovely that people take that on. I believe your site's built on Wix, and there's a number of limitations that Wix puts on you as far as things you can do and designs and all of that stuff. And not only designs, but the things you can actually do with your website. And at the same time, Wix can be a really nice service. So I'm not going to at all put Wix down, other than to say that there's a great deal of limitation that you have with Wix than having a professional design your own website. So let's jump in. A couple of small things just to jump into. One is, so we live in this mobile world now, and your phone number here should be clickable or tappable. It's not, so that people can literally call you. Now, the experience people would have on their mobile device is they would tap on this on your phone number, and the phone would ask them, "Would you like to call this number?" And they could do so. The other option, of course, is that they have to, you know, they have to take their finger and scroll over the number and copy it and go to their phone app and paste it in, and hopefully they got all the numbers correct, and it's just a mess. So it's much easier in this mobile world to have a phone number that's tapped. Um, there's a number of things I could say about branding. I'm going to kind of leave those conversations to most of it to when we have a chance to speak. Um, but the biggest thing that I would say about branding is that I don't really see how you've differentiated yourself from other people. So other people doing healing work. I'm a huge Carl Jung fan, so I love this quote. I'm just not sure the placement of that quote's right. You see, people come to a website, and what they're looking for is they're looking for themselves. They're looking for, I have an issue, a problem, a set of circumstances that I need help with. I need to heal. I need to resolve. I need to fix. And so they come to a website looking for that. And what we don't have is really that defined anywhere. I think it's lovely that we know who you are and what you do. But before we ever get there, who's your audience? What are they looking for? And so while I love this picture here and the top of the site, this could be used better. This whole top section could be used better to explain to people what it is you can actually help them with. And so as we scroll down, again, nice that we have these columns here. I'm kind of interested why. Maybe that's just simply a Wix setting that your about title isn't showing up. That's coming out in white. And to speak to that, if you did decide just to keep your Wix site, having a different mouse over color here so that the text doesn't disappear when you roll over it, that would be an important distinction. Coming down to, so there's this massive gap here at the bottom. It's nice to have a link to your Facebook page and Twitter and such. Hopefully, I didn't look, but hopefully you're using these social networks. If you're not using them, I wouldn't bother listing them. And what I mean by using them is having some regular postings, getting in there, sharing, building a community, building a following of people through your social networks. So let's go look at, I wanted to show you your about page real quick. Sweet picture. Love that. Love what you've put here. Though I'd love to hear a little more of your story about how you ended up where you are and how that relates to the people that you want to help. Just from a content point of view, having the chance to speak to people about this is how I got into healing and why, and how that relates to their story and their own healing themselves. When we get into services, some things we could adjust and say here. I'm not sure how many people are actually using these buy now buttons. There's other ways that you can collect money from people digitally. If they are using it a great deal, that's awesome. I wouldn't know that without speaking with you. But most of the time, we find that these buttons just really don't get any use. And so, there's other ways that we could put that up on the website. Excuse me. When we get to scheduling, I know that Wix, I think this is a Wix service here. I can't remember directly if that's true, but nice that people can schedule with you online. Again, it'd be really interesting to know what percentage of people are actually using this. Is it 0%? Is it 50% of the people that schedule with you? And if they're not, how could you use this? How could you drive more people to schedule online? Because being somebody who schedules appointments and have for the last 20 plus years as a web developer, I know that the back and forth sometimes by email can be a pain in the butt. So being able to utilize um, a web-based scheduling system would be better. And maybe if you can get it to be used more, maybe having it on your homepage, maybe having it up here in the navigation bar is maybe a button. So one thing that could be customized is rather than having it buried among these links, this mouse over thing is kind of annoying actually. Maybe it ends up at the end as a button. It looks like a button rather than just another link that people get lost with. Your testimonial page, nice. Of course, nobody's ever going to put up a negative testimonial about themselves, but consider putting your testimonials also within the body of your copy. So if we go and look at visual journaling, for instance, just waiting for this to load. But having a testimonial on this page where you can say, this is what I'm doing, this is the social proof that people benefit from it. And if we go to your other services page, same sort of thing here is, you're offering the psychic readings. You're letting people schedule. Again, this maybe should be a button instead of just a text link so more people see it. And also could be confusing as to why would I select which here? Do I schedule? Oh, wait a minute. Your buy now buttons aren't working. They just go, are they? Oh, interesting. They said they go to services. That must be a Wix thing. When I mouse over it here, I just was seeing something different down in the text. Anyway, but this is maybe a little confusing. Is do I schedule a session or do I pay? I'm not sure which to do here. So again, maybe making a choice here. See, web design is a lot more than just how attractive the site looks. There's a lot we could do visually with your website. Maybe even developing the kind of the dream graphical site you want. My partner Adrian is a phenomenal graphic designer, and it's something we could definitely speak about. It's more than web design though. It's about branding, and branding is the sense, sort of two things you can think of. Branding, one is, I mentioned earlier, how do you differentiate yourself from other people doing similar work? But more importantly, how is it that you communicate what you can do for people? If somebody came to your website, what would they know and believe that you can do for them? Not just that you're a psychic, or that you provide psychic readings, or you call yourself kind of a spiritual chiropractor. But how does that affect their lives? How does it change their lives? What is it that you can directly help them with? So branding isn't just, logos and colors and fonts and things. Really, branding is, how is it that you differentiate yourself in the market? And how is it that, or what is it that people believe you can do for them? So just something to think about here. And as we look at your store, oops, it's taking a minute to load for some reason. Again, this would be a conversation piece. I don't know how often your store is being used or how well it's laid out or any of those things. Those are things that we could talk about and problems, troubleshoot. Excuse me. I was going to say problem shoot. I meant troubleshoot, not problem solve. We could troubleshoot any issues and help you with that. So anyway, these are the ideas. Some of the ideas that we had when we were looking at your site. Oops, this right here should be a link back to your homepage. I know you have a home link here. But most people today are expecting to click on what's basically the logo. There's one more thing I wanted to go back to the homepage. There's one more thing I wanted to point out before I jump off, and this has gone on a little longer than it normally would, but that's okay. I don't mind sharing the time with you. So mobile. I mentioned mobile earlier with the phone number. This is a Google test. You can run this test yourself. Simply search Google mobile friendly test, and this is Google telling us that your website is not mobile friendly. And so that's a problem. That's a pretty major issue. And how we can see that is if I run an emulator over here on this other screen, you can see that your website doesn't adjust to the size of the screen. It's even more if we jump down to like an iPhone Plus size. You can see that people have to scroll sideways before they can scroll up and down. Not only horrifically inefficient, but in a time where anywhere from 45 to 60% of all web traffic for every website is mobile friendly, is mobile based. If you're not giving people the user experience that they expect on a mobile side, they simply just leave your website. So you're literally leaving business on the table here by not having a site that's mobile friendly. Just pointing that out. And again, that's not my opinion. That's really the case. Finally, just kind of give you an idea of a site that a really simple budget-based site that we built is we built this site for someone who is in kind of similar work. She does some healing work. Um, this is Cindy's site, and just to kind of show you that, and then to see what her site looks like on mobile. So here, here we are with everything responds to the size of the screen, everything goes where it's supposed to, and the site's very, very easy to use on a mobile device. Let me just jump back here. So the mobile thing's critical. I mean, it's literally one of those things that we're at a point now where I tell people that if you don't have a mobile-friendly website, you shouldn't have a website at all. And so it's that critical. So there's a bunch of things here that I brought up. Really, we'd love to help you. If it's something that you want some help with, and we find something that fits within your budget, then we'd be happy to help you design a site that really, here's one fascinating thing is that when I looked at your about page and I saw this photo with all the beautiful color and all the richness and life in it, I just didn't have that experience in the rest of the site. And the same thing when I went to your visual journaling. There's this beautiful slideshow that you put together, and look at the richness of color and the depth, and I can really get a sense of you and your work from this, but I don't see any of that in your design. And so that's something we could certainly help you with. And anyway, I'm going to jump off now. I just wanted to share all these items with you. I hope this has been helpful in some way. The next step really is just let us know that you want to chat. We'll schedule a 15 minutes of time that we could meet. You'll meet with either me or me and my partner Adrian, and we can talk about how we can help you and absolutely answer any questions that you have. If there's further questions that came out of this video. So, in that phone call, by the way, there's no pressure. We don't have big sales techniques. The reason we called our business Doing Good is because that's what we want to do. Is we want to do good in the world for people who are trying to do good in the world. And so we basically base all of our work the last 20 plus years on relationships. So if it looks like it fits, and after 15 minutes or so you want to chat about what it would like to go further, we could do that. But if nothing else, schedule a 15-minute session time with us. We can answer further questions, give you even a little more tips on how you can move forward, whether you move forward with us or on your own. So once again, my name is Dawood Miracle, and I work with Doing Good. We're a branding and web design agency, and really the core of our work is to create thriving brands with remarkable websites so that our clients can get more of the clients that they're looking for. So I look forward to talking to you soon, and thanks very much. Bye now.